Hello everyone. So let's begin with today's lecture. So today is the beginning of the concept of carrier transport, and thereafter we will essentially go into the most important factor, which will essentially give us currents in the devices. Okay. So the first and foremost, we have to keep in mind that when you are speaking of the material itself, let's not discuss about the specific devices and all. So what are devices essentially? If you look into it, devices are essentially some engineering of the devices, of the different materials, and we will essentially make the contacts in such a manner, of course using engineering methods, such that the fields in certain regions will be enhanced, some other regions it will be reduced, in such a manner that it is going to enhance its performance as an active component of the circuit. Okay, so the whole objective of this device course is essentially to make a better active uh, component of the circuit, as simple as that. Okay, we are not concerned about trying to make a device just as an academic interest, or publishing papers, or let us say from a perspective of physics. Okay, so here we are essentially trying to make a better circuit. Remember, in the next semester, if I teach advanced VLSI design or analog electronics, whatever, analog IC design, so in the circuits course you will notice that I'll be discussing about circuits alone, and in that perspective we will consider as if the devices are the perfect ones. Okay, so this particular course, physics and modeling of this device course, this is essentially geared towards how to make the perfect device. Okay, yeah, excellent. So now in this lecture, what we will understand is, first of all, if we have any material, device बाद में आता है, पहले material आता है, right? So is it true that if we go on applying a higher and higher voltage, remember, अगर हम voltage apply कर रहे हैं, if we go on increasing the voltage, you are essentially increasing the field inside the device. Makes sense? Because if you have got certain contact, let us say this is a PN junction, you are applying a voltage here, okay, plus V applied. Then you are not changing the device dimension simultaneously, right? So what happens is, device dimension remaining the same, you are simply increasing the applied voltage. What will happen is you are essentially increasing the field. Okay, so from that fundamental perspective, what we understand is that if we go on increasing the field, what happens is that the drift velocity will go on increasing. Why is that? Obviously you are increasing the field. Okay, so the electrons, let us say, the electrons will be attracted to the more positively charged um, terminal, right? So what happens is it is getting accelerated. So this is the drift velocity. Okay, let me write it here. So this is the drift velocity. Okay, and this is the field. Okay, so if we go on increasing the field, the drift velocity will go on increasing. That part is very clear to us. However, beyond a certain critical field, FC, the velocity will start to, again the same word, term which we have been always using, that is called, the drift velocity will start to saturate. Okay, so this is called velocity saturation or ballistic transport regime. We will understand this in a few minutes. Now what happens is that the drift velocity will not increase any further. It will become saturated, means it is essentially going to stabilize. It will not increase any further. Okay, so now the question is, first question to all of you, why does it saturate? Any guess? Any physical intuition into this? Anybody? Why does the velocity saturate beyond the certain critical field? You might have done in your ICFT class, or else in your BTech. Anybody? Yes. Hello.
So due to collision.
Scattering is a better word. Okay, because collisions, if you say collision is just, then I will ask, okay, what are the various collisions possible? So it is better because collision is a more sort of a classical concept when you can think about two billiard balls coming and hitting each other and basically getting deflected. So scattering is a better word. So what happens is the scattering will go on increasing, and remember, if you are increasing increasing the field, what happens, you are also energizing the electrons, right? So you are essentially adding more energy to the electrons, and that is why as and when the electric field becomes much higher, what happens, we call the electrons as hot electrons. When we speak about scaling theory towards the end of this course, we will discuss about hot electron effect. Okay, so this hot electron effect is a part of this ballistic transport, so we will look into that. So now let us understand that beyond this critical field, the scattering of the electrons will become so high, okay, that the scattering will essentially kind of will ensure that the electrons do not accelerate any further. So accelerate means the velocity is increasing. Okay, so they will essentially become, acceleration is zero, okay, so to speak. Now these equations are very fundamental. Let me just put them as boxes. Okay, but we are not going to derive this in this course. This is beyond the scope. um, Now what you should keep in mind is that the order of the critical field is something which you have to keep in mind. Okay, because when you are making a circuit design or a device design, you have to keep this FC in mind. So the critical field for silicon is roughly around in the order of 10 kilovolts per centimeter. Okay, now the tunneling fields, for example, if we speak about TFETs, for example, okay, in TFETs the tunneling field is around 1 megavolt per centimeter. All right, so what happens is, why is this tunneling fields order important? 1 megavolt is how much? It is 10 to the power of 6 volts per centimeter, right? What is this one over here? This is 10 to the power of 4 volts per centimeter. So why is this important? Is because once it starts tunneling, unless you make specific changes in the device structure, again device engineering, for example, tunnel FETs, how to make tunnel FETs. The one which we have designed in our research group is GOT-FET, gate overlap tunnel FETs. So these kind of devices are engineered in such a way that it is going to leverage on this high electric field for having more tunneling without breaking the device. This is very important. But suppose you are achieving this kind of 1 megavolt per centimeter order of fields inside a simple PN junction, that junction will break. That is called junction breakdown. And this is the beginning of avalanching effect, and essentially your device is gone. Okay, so how is GOT-FET different from a MOSFET? Let us say in the MOSFET cannot handle such electric fields, whereas in GOT-FET we have engineered the device in such a manner that even though the fields will be so high in particular regions of the device, other regions it will be low. In case of a MOSFET, I mean, it is going to simply go to avalanching and the device is gone. Okay, so just keep these orders in mind, because if you want to make a device, depending on which device or how you are making that device, you have to ensure that the critical field is less. I mean, the fields which is achieved inside the device should be less than 10 kilovolt per centimeter, or to be on the safe side. Okay, now from these equations, what we can really, clearly understand that for low fields, what is the situation? That means the field F is much lower than FC. Okay, so in this region, what we observe is that the VDRN, that is the drift velocity of N, that is electrons. Here it is VDRP, drift velocity of P, that is holes. Okay, so if F is much less than FC, then you can ignore this square term under the bracket, under the root. Similarly, here also you can ignore this F by FC term in the denominator. Okay, so what happens is you are left with VDRN sat by FC into F. Here it is VDRP sat by FC into F. So if you can clearly understand that VDRN SAT is a constant for that particular material, VDRP SAT is constant for that particular material, and critical fields are also constant for that material. Okay, these are material dependent parameters. So this VDRN SAT by FC is a constant for that material. So that's why we get mu n for that material. That is the simplest definition of mobility. This is how mobility term comes. Similarly, here you will be having mu p into f, mobility of the holes in that particular material. So whatever I have discussed until now, the variation of mobility with applied field is independent of the devices. Please clearly understand that. So that means we all know, right? Mu n and mu p for silicon is different from mu n and mu p for germanium, right? So this is essentially coming from the concept of VDRN SAT and the critical field for that particular material. Okay. However, for high electric fields, what is going to happen? Notice that in for high electric fields, that means F is larger than FC. Then clearly, this 1 can be ignored with respect to F by FC whole square. Over here, 1 can be ignored with respect to F by FC. This F by FC will cancel with the numerator. Okay, you are left with only VDRN SAT and VDRP SAT. So that means your drift velocity happens to saturate beyond a field which is higher than FC. Clear? Okay, na? So this is the basic material property which I have just given you an idea. Later on, when we deal with MOSFETs, we will notice even the saturation region of the MOSFET is essentially dependent on this particular phenomenon. We will look into that when we deal with the MOSFETs after the midsem. Okay. Now, when we and that is going to be like really interesting parts. Okay. So over there during that when we are discussing about the saturation region of the MOSFET, remember in your VLSI design you are almost invariably working in the saturation region, right? In analog IC design, I think it hasn't started yet. In the next semester, whoever is teaching, either I'll be teaching or I think Parikshit sir or someone, I do not know. Okay, so whoever is teaching analog IC design, over there also you will notice that we are always biasing the transistor in the saturation region. Why and why not the other regions? Those things will become clear over there. All right. However, the saturation regions mean it is a velocity saturation kind of thing. We will understand that. We will revisit this in the saturation when we are dealing with saturation region in the case of the MOSFET. Okay. Now, with this perspective of the materials, now we come to a very important understanding that any kind of classical motion, that's why I specifically put classical over here. Okay. Like quantum motion, quantum transport. Okay. Quantum transport is beyond the scope of this course. However, those of you who are interested to work with me, we are going to understand quantum transport in our research, in our group. But however, in this course, it is only classical transport. So any kind of classical motion is caused by a gradient. Okay, this is something you must always remember. For example, anything which you drop from your hand. Why do you drop something? Like why does anything fall back to the earth? It's simply because, what is that? There is a gravitational field. So what is the field? Gravitational field is the gradient of gravitational potential energy. Okay, na? However, I have included over here only those effects which will affect classical transport in devices. Okay, there are, of course, as I said, any kind of classical motion is always caused due to a gradient. Somehow or the other कहीं ना कहीं gradient है. ठीक है? So अगर इसे ध्यान से समझना आपको पता चल जाएगा. So one of the transport that we had seen in our last lecture was because of temperature gradient. Temperature gradient में क्या हुआ करता था? We had two different materials. Okay, and we are making this is 0 degrees Celsius, that is 100 degrees Celsius, or anything. Like essentially, what I mean by saying is that these two materials या फिर material contacts are at different temperatures and you are continuously maintaining it, then you are always going to have some voltage between these two nodes. Okay, you can use an ammeter, you can also find a current also, depending on whether these materials are conductors or not. Okay, so now the point is, this is possible if you are making a temperature gradient. So that means temperature gradient gives rise to potential difference. That is a Seebeck effect. Peltier effect क्या है? Just उसका reverse. If you are passing a current through the contacts of dissimilar materials, those contacts will heat up and they will be always having a temperature gradient. That is just the reverse of Seebeck effect. That's called Peltier effect. Okay? So that's why I always keep referring to as Seebeck and Peltier effect simultaneously. Anyway, these kind of situations will never arise inside the device. Okay? Inside the device or the circuit. Okay? Because in that IC which you are going to design, what happens? All the devices get heated up, all the materials inside the device will get heated up simultaneously. So your ambient lattice temperature itself increases. So this temperature gradient is not going to be maintained. Okay? So, but still I have incorporated this because this is one effect which can be, due to some mistake in the fabrication or due to some problem in the ICs, this can come up. So you have to take care. Okay, now comes the two most important part. One is the electrostatic potential gradient. So this is temperature gradient, this is electrostatic potential gradient. Potential gradient क्या है? Field है ना? Electric field. So whatever classical motion is caused due to the potential gradient is the potential gradient. Other word for potential gradient is field. That is the drift. दूसरा क्या होगा? Free carrier concentration. तो अगर concentration gradient है तो आपका हो जाता है diffusion. ठीक है ना? That means wherever you find any motion, any kind of transport, you are always going to have some gradient. ठीक है? Then let us talk about the typical classical example. जैसे कि आप बचपन में हम लोग सीखे थे ना, diffusion क्या है? And in one corner of a room you have kept one, by mistake you have kept one perfume bottle open. After a few hours the entire room starts smelling nice. Why is that? Again, the concentration of those perfume molecules towards the corner of the room is more than the rest of the room. So they will essentially go from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So that means higher to lower is a gradient. So again, concentration gradient. So that is a classical example. Now that kind of phenomenon can be observed in case of quantum particles like electrons as well. So we have the diffusion. Okay, now this is whatever I have told you is just physical explanation. Now let us try to model this. Okay, now these are something which you are all aware of in your ECE courses, but those of you who are from electrical background or else you have forgotten, is just for you. So if it is a classical transport, drift and classical transport diffusion, I'm not going to bother about the temperature gradient now. If you are interested, you can go back to your high school, like Resnick and Halliday. They have essentially defined, and another very good book is from University Physics, C.S. Zimansky. You can actually go through that as well. All right. So classical transport, let us say we are essentially considering an archetype of a silicon block. Okay. Cross-section area A, electron concentration is N, and a strip along this length is dx. Okay, now remember that the total number of electrons moving in the volume of A into dx, okay, this particular strip is given by क्या क्या रहेगा इसमें? देखो, n is the concentration gradient. Okay, n is the concentration gradient, carrier density या फिर concentration ही कर देते हैं. Okay, just concentration, not gradient. Gradient will be dn dx. Okay, it's just the concentration, or else we will call it as the carrier density. That's also perfectly fine. So that means its unit is per centimeter cube, as usual. Okay, A into dx. A is centimeter and dx is centimeter. So this is centimeter cube. Okay, so n into a dx is simply the number of electrons in this particular a dx volume multiplied by the electronic charge minus q. That will essentially give you the, okay, so I'll remove this because this is total number of electrons moving in volume ADX. So total number of electrons is only this. Okay, so the rate of charge flow, number of electrons, n into ADX multiplied by minus q is electronic charge. Rate hai, so we have to divide it by the time taken for the electron to move in this small cross section dx. Okay, so यहाँ पर dt, so that will essentially give you this dx dt coming over here. So what is this dx dt? Nothing but the drift velocity, है ना? So the now notice that it is essentially dependent on a parameter area, which is essentially something which will which can vary depending on the amount of, depending on the slice which you have considered. So essentially, if we think of current density, that will essentially be easier from a device analysis. So here comes a very important part. So whenever you are designing a circuit, you are concerned only with the current. Whenever you are designing a device, okay, or at least when you are looking inside the device, then current density gives you a better picture. Okay, so the current density Jn is equal to current by area. ठीक है, तो ये एरिया कैंसिल हो जाएगा, तो माइनस एन क्यू dx dt is equal to vdrn, drift velocity of the n type carrier, that is electrons. Now under the low field approximation, देखो low field approximation हमने यहाँ पर दिखाया है ना, क्या था? Simply vdrn is equal to mu n into f. Okay, so this is something important. So that means throughout our entire device knowledge which we have seen is basically you are always going to apply, हमेशा यही लिखते थे ना, drift velocity जहां भी है mu into f लिखते थे. Okay, so what it means is the drift velocity is directly proportional to the field. यही हुआ करता था, drift velocity here is proportional to the field. So this region is nothing other than the ohmic region. Okay, sorry. Okay, this is the ohmic region. Now that brings us to a very subtle point. In case if you are looking for a metal में क्या होता है? It's a good conductor of electricity. So basically, no matter how much field you apply in real life, in practice, you are always going to have an ohmic relation in the case of a metal. Metal में कभी मतलब velocity saturation या current और नहीं बढ़ेगी, ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है. क्यों नहीं होता? Can anybody guess an intelligent answer?
Energy bands.
No, that is one way of looking at it. But over here, why doesn't velocity saturate in case of a metal? That is my question.
No concentration gradient.
Sorry.
Concentration gradient is zero over there.
No, that is the diffusion. No, ये तो मैं drift की बात कर रहा हूँ. This is all about drift. Concentration gradient में कोई field का कोई concept ही नहीं है. What I'm suggesting is that whenever I'm applying an electric field to a metal, velocity does not saturate. That means drift velocity does not saturate. So the moment I'm speaking that it is about the field, you have to ignore all diffusion concept over here. Diffusion is about concentration gradient, वो तो अलग है. But what you said is correct. It's truly so. That is why metals are equipotential surface. Anyway, any other answer regarding this? इस ग्राफ को ही देखो ना. Fc is very high for metals. Okay, so that means imagine the situation that this Fc is very high. What I have written over here, Fc, this is for silicon. Okay, now silicon or semiconductors, usually these tunneling fields and all, remember Fc, these are all material dependent. So these are usually for this is for, I'll write silicon, let us say this is again for silicon. This is our main concern, the material which we should be concerned about in our whole VLSI course, right? So this is for silicon. So suppose in case of metals, instead of 10 kilovolt per centimeter, in case of metal, suppose Fc is 10 megavolt per centimeter. तब क्या होने वाला है? If you are actually applying something around 10 kilovolt per centimeter, the metal itself will start to melt. Okay? The metal itself will lose its property of the metal. All right. So that means your metal itself will lose its property of a metal if it reaches that 10 megavolt per centimeter before the ohmic region can even come to saturation region. So that means for all practical purposes, you are always going to have a ohmic region in case of a metal. On the other hand, if it is the case of, yeah, Ashok, if it is the case of semiconductors, on the other hand, what happens is it is going to, FC is 10 kilovolt per centimeter, which is easily achieved in modern technology. Please, Ashok, tell me.
So scattering is less in metals. So is that correct?
Sorry.
Scattering is
Yeah,
less in
yeah, yeah,
metals.
yeah, exactly. That is also the point. That is all because scattering kahan se hoga? Like one of your friend had just answered, Aviral, I think, that in case of metals, you do not have any concentration gradient as well. There is no scattering. The electrons can move freely. Okay,
So,
so you are
and
not going to
lattice
have much.
scattering, impurity scattering, two types of scattering are there. I mean,
Yes,
that is the
yes,
case of semiconductors.
yeah.
So impurity scattering will not be there in material. I mean, metals, right? I mean, can we say that?
Actually, we cannot always ensure that there will be no impurities in case of a metal. We cannot say that. In fact, that is the reason why metals still have a little bit of resistance. ऐसा नहीं है कि it is superconductor. Superconductor is a completely different perspective altogether. ठीक है? तो वहां पर कुछ
And
ना कुछ like impurities are always there, but still that is very very less compared to the number of free carriers available. Okay.
and fuse is also, I mean, it may be dielectric and it may be a metal also, right, sir, in some cases. And the fuse which we are using, the blowing of fuse is
In the
somewhat related
fuse,
to.
yeah, because in fuses, that is basically a metal. The only thing is that the temperature capacity of the metal is very kind of engineered to have a particular level. So that means how is the temperature, and that is basically the current carrying capacity. In fact, as I told you, if the field increases, notice it's a very good thing you brought up the question of the fuse. If the field increases, if the FC increases, what happens? Ohmic region to बढ़ता जाएगा. As I told you, if the field increases, what happens? The metal gets heated up, but still ohmic region is there. FC is increased. Okay. In case of a fuse, what happens is that FC is in such a, I mean, is such a level. What will happen is the field, even it before it reaches FCs, let us say somewhere here itself, the field is sufficient to burn that metal itself. Okay? So it doesn't mean that that fuse contact, that is also a metal, tungsten usually. Suppose tungsten or some other compound, I forgot. So what will happen is, for example, bulb cut ho jata hai. For example, a bulb is essentially made with tungsten filament, right? So now if you are applying a very high voltage, you will notice you are increasing the voltage, the bulb will start glowing more and more. But what happens? That bulb is also getting heated up. The tungsten filament is getting heated up. So at one point of time, even though it is it is getting heated up because of the current which is proportional to the applied voltage on the field, what will happen? Its capacity to withstand that heat, it is going to exceed that, and essentially even though it has got some ohmic region left, that filament is going to burn out. The same thing happens with the case of the fuse as well. Very nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so under the low field approximation, we understand that it is only proportional to the field. That part is clear. ये negative क्यों है यार? Very simple. Remember, electronic charge is negative, and the field is defined for unit positive charge. ये हमेशा याद रखना. Many of your seniors, many of you keep making the mistake in the exams. Field is always for unit positive charge, and the carriers which we are concerned about here right now is electrons, which is negatively charged with minus q. उसका एक value भी होता है. So that means we are always going to have a negative here because we are speaking about, since electrons are minus q charged. Okay, so now what happens is you are always going to have a minus here. So we will go by the first principles. Jn will be equal to, जैसे हमने यहाँ पर निकाले थे ना, minus n q. ये माइनस कहाँ से आया था? ये माइनस q के कारण आया था, right? And instead of this VDRN, I will replace it by minus mu n f, and you will get this result. Very simple. Similarly for holes, अगर आप देखोगे, the only thing that varies over here is that minus q becomes plus q, minus mu n f becomes plus mu pf, because holes are positively charged, so they will essentially traverse along the direction of the field. So just to keep things simpler in this course, I have avoided the usage of vectorial notations. But if you are using vectorial notation, you don't have to bother so much about the positive and negative and all that. Okay. But anyway, so this is, so basically overall drift current density is basically this relation. I have just added these two factors and you get the conductivity, and this is something which you know from your BTech thing. Conductivity and resistivity concept. Okay, now we come to the second. Any question, anyone? Akash?
Sir, if we dope the material,
Yeah, very
so
good.
impurity scattering will increase, right?
Yes, but basically I'll tell you, even though the scattering increases, you are
Yes.
also increasing the number of free carriers. Okay, so you are thinking that scattering अगर बढ़ जाएगा तो R बढ़ जाएंगे, but remember the more important parameter for
Yes.
current conduction is this N and P value. So if you are doping the material, your free carrier density will essentially increase, right?
Okay.
है ना? तो इसलिए remember, in case of a lattice, most of the lattice is essentially free space. ठीक है? So if you are essentially creating more number of electrons, I mean, effectively what happens is more number of electrons are more conducive for current conduction than creating an equal number of immobile charges. Immobile charges will definitely increase the scattering, but number of carriers has increased, right? So they will increase the current even more.
So, sir, due to if scattering increase, so do we get means FC will increase? Do we get a large amount of ohmic region?
No. This ohmic region has got nothing to do. This ohmic region is a connection between the drift velocity and the field.
Okay.
अगर आप डोपिंग कर रहे हो ना, it doesn't change this, because this is a fundamental property of the material. So that means once you have created, अब जितना भी डोप कर लो, ठीक है, कोई भी मटेरियल डोप कर लो, then what will happen? It is essentially going to give you more number of electrons and holes. Simple.
Okay.
Now, how fast it will move when we have applied the biases is essentially defined by that material.
Okay.
समझ में आ रहा है ना? ये दोनों अलग अलग चीज है. इनफैक्ट एज आई हैव ऑलवेज बीन एम्फसाइजिंग दैट म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव इवेंट्स, ठीक है, याद है वो वाला, याद रखना. तो यहाँ पर यू कैन सी दैट दिस आर ऑल म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव इवेंट. डोपिंग विल बेसिकली टेक केयर ऑफ दिस n, whereas this drift velocity वाला मटेरियल जो कॉन्सेप्ट मैंने बताया, that will essentially take care of this part, and these are all products, so that means mutually exclusive events. Okay. Yeah. Very good. I'm really happy you are asking questions. So concept clear हो रहा है ना पूरा? Otherwise ये equation आप किसी भी स्ट्रीटमैन बैनर्जी कहीं भी मिल जाएगा आपको. That's not an important thing. So for example, N and VDRN are different concepts. How do you increase the number of N, number of free carriers? Through doping. हो गया. Doping के साथ आपका VDRN का कोई संबंध नहीं है. You are using doping with phosphorus. VDRN is defined by the silicon material, जहां पर वो फ्री कैरियर्स मूव करेंगे. Alright, excellent. Now we will come to the classical transport number 2, which is diffusion. Okay, जैसे मैंने बताया, it's a concentration gradient. Cool. Concentration gradient मतलब with distance n decreases. Okay. Now मैंने बताया n decreases क्यों? ये उल्टा भी तो हो सकता है, right? Now it turns out, now this is a very important concept. So basically concentration gradient अगर बताते हैं, then del n del x होना चाहिए ना. ये negative क्यों लगाया? Can anybody tell me? देखो, these are the things which you already know. or you have studied, but we are learning it from a much advanced level with new eyes. Negative क्यों लगा?
Sir, the
The
flow is from
tangential
higher
direction
concentration gradient to
slope
lower.
will be negative, right?
One by one, please.
So the y is decreasing. I mean, the x is increasing and the y is decreasing. So the slope will be negative.
I could have drawn like this also, no?
Sir, the movement of the particles from higher concentration to lower concentration.
Uh, who is this?
Sohail.
Sohail. Higher concentration to lower concentration. Yeah. So it's even better because that is, of course, there. But whenever I'm trying to find out the current means that means the rate of flow. The motion is definitely going to be from higher to lower.
Because
I'm
electrons
speaking about the rate of charge flow. Huh.
opposite electron
Sir, is
flow,
it like the
definitely
number of
that is.
electrons lost?
यहाँ पर remember this is diffusion. It has got nothing to do with electron or hole. I mean, whatever I'm telling right now in diffusion, that is true for even perfume molecules. Okay? So this diffusion is a classical transport. In the first case, electronic charge was an important factor because it is drift, and drift means field. Field is essentially charge का concept आता है वहां पर. In case of diffusion, the concentration gradient concept में यहाँ पर negative नहीं आएगा. Of course, the current will be essentially dependent on the electronic charge. यहाँ पर minus Q हो जाता है, holes का plus Q आ जाता है. In interviews, there is a very important question. यहाँ for drift, like diffusion current for electrons is positive. For holes, why is it negative? Okay, that we will explore later. यहाँ पर minus Q plus Q आ रहा है. But my question is in the concentration gradient itself, this term del and del x, यहाँ पर negative क्यों लगा है?
Sir, is it like the number of particles lost? I mean, the concentration number of particles is decreasing as we moving next.
Rate के सामने बता सकते हो, like what you said and another person like Sohail was telling, that was actually correct, but can you explain in terms of the rate? क्योंकि हम current की बात करें ना, current is the rate of flow. Okay. What I was trying to tell you is that rate, that means this is the gradient of this del and del x. उसका rate हमें चाहिए because rate of charge flow is the current, right? So what it means is this concentration gradient simply means that wherever there is a higher concentration gradient, वहां पर आपका ज्यादा current होगा. Please understand this. ऐसा नहीं है कि जहां पर concentration ज्यादा है वहां पर current ज्यादा होगा. No. Concentration gradient jahan zyada hoga tabhi. For example, what I mean to say is that you have got this situation. Okay, so if you notice this sky blue color, it is always going to have a concentration which is always higher than this red line. Which of this will give you more current? जिसका gradient ज्यादा है, concentration ज्यादा है नहीं है. Like for example, what Sohail was telling, it is going from a higher concentration to the lower concentration. Excellent. That is the correct answer. So there is more concentration here compared to here. I'll use, this is more number here than here. Excellent. But here you have got less number than both of them. तो यहाँ पर 4 है तो यहाँ पर हम लोग 3 लगा देते हैं. Let us say here. Okay, so this is 3, this is 5, this is I think 50. I do not know how many. Here is only 1. Which of these will give you more current?
The red one.
Huh?
The red one.
The red one. Why?
It's
But
gradient.
yes, इसका gradient ज्यादा है. समझ में आ रहा है ना दोनों difference का? ध्यान से समझ रहे हैं इस बात को. So that means it is not only a question of going from higher concentration to lower concentration. Yes, it is definitely going to go. But when we are speaking about the current is the rate of the charge flow, rate of the number of particles moving. Okay, so that will essentially depend on the gradient. gradient किसका ज्यादा है. So essentially that brings us to this concept कि since this is having a higher gradient, so as the gradient decreases, you are going to have lesser and lesser current. So that means the current over here is larger, and as we go along, the current will decrease. यहाँ पर शायद कोई current है ही नहीं, let us say. Got it, everybody? And that has got nothing to do with whether you choose X in this direction or this direction. So that means instead of this whole thing, I could have also done यहाँ से लेकर, since this is a higher gradient, notice I have not drawn del and del X here. Things would have been probably slightly easier to understand that way. I am drawing here. Everybody with me, right? So that means as the slope decreases, the rate of carrier flow decreases. So that is why it is negative. समझ में आया सबको? So that means as X increases, okay, आपका ये del and del X is also decreasing. As a consequence, if del and del X decreases, your current decreases. So that means the current decreases with increasing X. Simple. Okay, so you have to define everything with respect to the concentration. Sorry, why is it decreasing?
So I mean, current is why is it decreasing? I mean, because of less carriers as we move along. So
no, it's not the less carriers. It is the less carrier concentration gradient. Okay, so that means here the gradient, what does it imply? Dekho, if I take this and this, okay, and let us draw a straight line. This, and this is almost like flat. So if you notice these three red lines which I have drawn, since the rate of carrier decrease, ये carrier decrease नहीं है सिर्फ, ये rate of carrier decrease. Carrier decrease is only delta n. Rate of carrier decrease is delta n by del x. कितना fast carrier decrease हो रहा है, that is the difference. Okay, so what we observe is that this rate of carrier decrease, I am using the word decrease, rate of carrier decrease along X is decreasing along this direction. So as a consequence, what will happen? Jitna ye, and this Y negative, now comes the major understanding here, is that del and del X itself will be negative. बात को समझना. Del and del X itself will be negative. क्योंकि if you, I mean, just from mathematics also you can see, if this line, what is the slope of this line geometrically? It is always negative. It's falling this angle. Sorry. ये angle क्या है? This angle is in the second quadrant, right? So if it is a second quadrant angle, obviously its slope itself is negative. But what we will understand here is that the concentration gradient, the currents will be in this direction, right? So we will always try to put the current as the positive quantity. So that's why we have put a negative over here, because del and del X itself is negative.
Sir,
because this is the decreasing concentration, right? If it is decreasing concentration, मतलब क्या है? आपका slope हमेशा negative ही होने वाला है anyway, right?
Sir, if we have an increasing concentration, then what is that?
So increasing concentration means you have anyway reversed this X value. The direction of X is reversed. Okay? Then basically this del X itself will become negative. समझ में आया ना? जैसे कि this whole thing, suppose instead of this I have chosen this as X equal to 0. This is all X is negative. The आपका del X itself will become negative, right? So it is a choice of which axis you are choosing. But however, no matter what you do, you are always going to have a positive concentration gradient if you are putting a negative over here. Okay, that's the whole point. Okay, so or else simply you can say that, I mean, many of you, many people have a wrong concept कि it is because x increasing में n decreases. n decreases नहीं है भाई. X यहाँ पर decrease हो रहा है because I have drawn it in this particular fashion. Okay, I mean in this direction. What actually happens is that del n del x factor is always going to be negative because the current decreases as del n del x decreases. Okay, so this del n del x itself will be a negative quantity. So what we intend to make is the current should be positive. इसीलिए हमने यहाँ पर एक negative डाला है. Okay. So now diffusivity is the proportionality constant, या फिर diffusion constant. And then for electrons, you are anyway going to have minus q. You get this value. For similarly for holes, what you observe is this minus del n del s के बदले में minus del p del x होगा. Remember, it has got nothing to do with the charge. Charge यहाँ पर है plus q. This is minus q. Okay. So this answers the question why holes are always going to have a negative in the expression for the diffusion current. In case of electrons, it is positive. क्यों हो रहा है? Electron का charge भी negative है and concentration gradient has to be negative as well. Okay. Now vectorially, this is represented like this in more kind of advanced level textbooks. Like if you are going into R&D, you will actually encounter these kind of relations. But anyway, for our purposes, this is good enough, where it is only for one particular direction. Okay. Now comes a very important topic to understand before we proceed further. This Einstein relation is also something which you have studied, but I do not know why most textbooks do not explain this, or most courses do not explain this. This is very important. That is invariance of Fermi energy level under equilibrium. जब भी हम लोग p-n junction draw करते थे, like all of we know, right? We used to make that, okay, EF is all throughout. Band p-n junction का कैसे बनाते थे? If it is p type on the left side, this EV will be close to EF, and since this is n type over here, EC will be close to EF, and बाकी का हम लोग ऐसे जोड़ देते थे, right? This is the typical way of drawing the p-n junction. We will look into p-n junction right after 1 or 2 classes. Now, the point is, note that we always used to make EF as a reference horizontal line. Okay? That means EF is invariant between materials as long as it is under equilibrium. Okay? Q. Why is EF the same under equilibrium? That also we will understand mathematically. Okay, so that is a modeling course. So once we understand through mathematics and physics, I mean, you will never have any confusion in life. किसी ने बता दिया था EF is the same throughout the device. अरे क्यों यार? Okay, so this is the reason. Suppose we have got two different materials here. Okay, for if it is a diode, N-type silicon, P-type silicon भी बता सकते हैं. Like any different materials throughout the device, because remember, a device is a combination of different materials, right? All right, so material 1, material 2, density of states G1, G2, Fermi-Dirac distribution function F1, F2. Now this is the rate from 1 to 2. So this is the rate, this is the rate. Rate means rate of carrier flow. Okay, 2 to 1. This is material 1, this is material 2. Okay. Now notice, अभी इसको समझना. For the rate of carrier transport from material 1 to material 2, there are two, again, mutually exclusive events have to be there. One is availability of free electrons here. यहाँ पर availability of free chairs on the other side. तभी तो, I mean, these electrons will come and sit here. In case there are no vacancies, then where will these electrons come and sit? I'm speaking in layman terms. In reality, there are electrons here and we need to have holes over here. That means the vacancies. So only then the electrons can come in. Suppose material 2 is completely filled. I mean, there you will never have any transport. Similarly for 2, 2, 1. So that means there are two mutually exclusive events. Number one is that availability of free carriers. Number two, availability of vacancies. Okay. So when it is moving from 1 to 2, when we are considering the movement from 1 to 2, the number of free carriers will be number of chairs in material 1 and the number of chairs which are occupied. Kya hoga? Number of carriers here, number of chairs are here, number of carriers which have occupied this G1, number of chairs is G1 into F1. G1 into F1 will essentially give you the number of carriers which are free to move in material 1. Material 2 में जब आता है, वहाँ पर number of chairs is the density of states G2, but we are not looking for the chairs. जैसे कि यहाँ पर देख लें, एक आदमी बैठा हुआ है, 2 chairs खाली हैं. यहाँ पर करोड़ों लोग हो सकते हैं, but how many people can actually come over here? Only 2, because there are only 2 chairs which are vacant. So I will put 1 minus F2 to indicate the number of vacancies. Okay, right. So similarly, from rate 2 to 1, G2 into F2 will be the number of carriers, and G1 into F1 is the number of vacancies in the material 1. Now, under equilibrium, what was the basic definition? By definition, there were no net motion. That means this rate and this rate have to be the same. So I have just equated these two values. Okay, remember there is a proportionality over here that will again get cancelled. So if we cancel this out, you will notice F1 equal to F2. That means the Fermi function will be the same. As a consequence, this is going to be the same. That means Fermi energy level is invariant. That means the Fermi energy level remains the same throughout the material. Whenever we are speaking about the metal oxide semiconductor, there are 3 different materials. Okay, still EF remains the same as long as it is under equilibrium. This is very important. ये तो mathematically हमने सीखा है, but इसका application कहाँ होगा? That comes in the concept of Einstein relation. That is the last topic for today. This relation is something which we already knew, okay, in our equilibrium carrier concentration thing. So what we need to do is remember that Einstein relation is under equilibrium. So this equation, whatever we wrote for Jn and Jp, these are for the currents, right? Currents mean movement of carriers. So that means under equilibrium, this is always going to be 0, right? Total current has to be 0. So that is what I wrote over here. So Jn, this relation has to be equal to 0 under equilibrium. For Jp, that is the total whole current density, will also have to be equal to 0 under equilibrium. The only thing is that ये del and del x का मैंने यहाँ पर derivation किया है. One very important thing to understand, जब हम derivative कर रहे हैं ना, del E by del x. What is the del? So I should actually write it like this. That will essentially make even more sense. This is del EF by del x under equilibrium. समझ में आया ना? That is the reason why I told you that the EF is invariant. So that means in an Einstein relation, we can understand that if it is under equilibrium, then there is no variation in EF with respect to x. ठीक है ना? So if that is equal to 0, you are left with the rest of the derivation. Now, one very important thing to understand is that F is defined like this, minus del phi del x. Phi is the potential. But remember, F is defined for unit positive charge. Potential or voltage is defined also for unit positive charge. Lekin energy, EI, is defined for an electron. So that means agar hum unit positive charge ki baat kar rahe hain, then EI divided by minus Q is basically the potential. Okay. So now if you do that, this minus minus cancels and you are left with this. And this is by definition. So I should actually put here 3 dashes. So that means this is equal to by definition. or equivalent. Okay, so okay, so what I have done here is that if del EI del X is equal to QF, I will just replace all del EI del X by QF, and we will just cancel. You will get this. In the next part, you will also get the difference over here, and finally you end up in this relation. Now, in IIT Kharagpur, okay, when I was a faculty over there, so I set one paper in which I gave this problem. You won't believe the entire batch made a mistake over here. Then I realized what went wrong. गलती कहाँ कर रहे हैं? गलती कहाँ कर रहे हैं जानते हो? यहाँ पर जब हम माइनस क्यू की बात कर रहे हो ना, then many of these IIT students, they thought that this minus q is because of it is an electron. When we are dealing with the holes, ठीक है, जब हम यहाँ पर del p del x sorry del ei del x, हाँ यहाँ पर look at this, del ei del x को हमने यहाँ पर qf लगाए हैं ना. What they thought is, since this was for minus q for electrons, for holes it will be plus q. Okay, and they ended up with a negative over here. This will be positive over here, positive over here, and this will be minus, and essentially minus phi t ho jayega. And what they thought is that we will only take the mod and it will be equal to phi t. I will use phi t for the rest of the course. That is the volt equivalent of temperature, because this kT by Q will appear in almost every relation in the devices. So it's better to write phi t. Now, in advanced level textbooks, you will find phi t only. Now the point is, what is the mistake they made? The entire batch made a mistake. Okay. Sometimes I set a little bit tougher question and nobody can answer. Then I become questionable to the department. So तब मुझे पता चला कि उन बच्चों में ना, IIT खड़गपुर के स्टूडेंट्स में ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं था कि phi, the potential is always equal to E by minus Q, because minus Q is the electronic charge, and this is the electrostatic potential energy, which is defined as, so basically the electrostatic potential energy is defined as minus Q into the phi. Phi is defined for unit positive charge, and this is how it is defined, irrespective of whether you are applying for a hole or an electron. Okay, this is how you define this value of EI. Ab EI hi kyun? That we have already seen that EF is invariant with respect to so therefore we can also write therefore del EF. So we can also write del EF by del X, that is always equal to 0. Okay, so that part we have to understand, like the Fermi energy level is independent of the is invariant with respect to the spatial. Okay, so you have understood, right? That is how you are not going to have this, and it's not a modulus or mod value. It is always going to be this relation. ठीक है ना? Very good. That's all for today. We have a class after this. If you have any questions, you can ask.